ma sadgamaya.
It's good that she brought this up at this point. Who told you you're a laughing stock? They'd laugh at everything, they've become like that. If your stocks in laughter has gone up, that's good. So, when Draupadi was being disrobed in public, Krishna was not there. He was not even aware of the scene, because when he came to Rajasuya Yagna just before this, Shalva, another king who held grudge against him, came and ransacked Dwaraka completely. Killed and burnt homes and burnt cattle and burnt everything. So Yadavas, those who got killed, though others just ran into the forest and hid. And on top of it, Shalva kidnapped Krishna's father Vasudeva and took him away. So by the time Krishna reached there, the whole place was just burnt and devastated. People were all hiding in the mountains and forests. After he came, they came down and he reorganized the people and building the city back and sending his son to go and somehow get the release of his father who was kidnapped. This is what he was involved in at that time, so he was completely not aware of what was happening here in Hastinapur. So if he is not at all aware, how did he reach out to Draupadi? So yesterday this question came about grace. We should have looked at it there. This is a constant question for It's a constant question that's coming to me in so many forms. Some gently, some very arrogantly, some sarcastically, some almost in an accusing way, or some blatantly accusing, so many ways. So Krishna is not aware of Draupadi's predicament. So how did that miracle happen that she was guarded? You need to understand this. For the grace to function, I need not be aware of what's happening to you. Mentally, I need not be aware of what's happening. A certain investment of energy is made which takes care of itself. If you wish to be aware, you can be aware, it's possible. But most of the time you don't wish to be aware because it's too many things happening. It is just a certain investment has been made and that takes care of those events. Those who are receptive to it, for them it works. Those who are not receptive, it'll not work. Somewhere else when this came up, I think Uddhava says, in many situations, I have seen you beyond any doubt that you are a divine manifestation. You're definitely not another ordinary man. There is so much about you which is beyond man. But why? These problems, you can't just handle it like that for people. Somebody is struggling, why can't we just do that? So Krishna smilingly said, nobody can work a miracle unless the recipient is in full faith. Even the great god Mahadeva comes, he cannot work a miracle unless there is a receptivity of faith. So don't expect such things, that when people are not receptive, that you will work miracles. It'll not work. There's a very beautiful story which we have been telling. One day Krishna was having lunch. Satyabhama was serving him. Halfway through the meal, he just got up and he said, one of my devotees is in trouble, I need to go. And he just washed his hands and left. He went till the gate, then stopped there, turned around and came back. Satyabhama asked, what happened? You left the lunch like this and went away saying your devotee is in trouble, and now you just turned back and came, what happened? Then Krishna said, a devotee of mine who was chanting, who was calling out Krishna, Krishna, with his eyes closed, a hungry tiger approached him. he would be killed. So I thought I will reach out and I went. But by the time I went near the gate, the fool picked up a stone in his hand. So I turned back and came. So, for grace to function, it is not that the person who is the source of that grace has to be mentally aware of those situations. It's not at all necessary. The necessary investment of energy has been made which functions by itself. It is just that one has to open up the bounty that's been kept. I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, fortunate than Krishna or anybody else for that matter, because he managed to work up more faith in people and things happen in many ways. Now don't think of faith in terms of people are every day talking about miracles, you know. They've just lost control over their imagination. Things happening which will leave people transformed. So, Krishna himself in his life could generate faith in lots of people, but still not in the same measure of who he is. For who he is, much more should have happened. But it did not happen. But I don't see it as a surprise. That's always been so. When the greatest ones come, greatest things did not happen because they were too far out. A little medium-scale ones did better with people in many ways, though they cannot take them to the ultimate. On certain levels, they did better because they operated on the levels that people understand. In terms of grace and grace being accessible and available to people, unless one creates that openness, which can only happen when you're willing to keep yourself aside. If you pick up the stone in your hand and then say, Krishna, Krishna, it doesn't work like that. If you pick up the stone in your hand and say, Sadhguru, Sadhguru, even if I want to, it doesn't work because it's subtle. It's very, very subtle. And it is not at all necessary that one should be mentally aware of what's happening. It is not essential at all. So, Krishna was not aware of Draupadi's predicament at that moment, but still it happened.
Take a deep breath and for just a moment, allow yourself to relax. In this enlightening discourse, Sadhguru delves deep into the mysteries of grace, offering profound insights and guidance on how to unlock its power in our life. Through stories like Krishna's saving on Draupadi and his teachings on making grace function, Sadhguru illuminates the path to experiencing grace in our own life. As we reflect on Sadhguru's teaching, let us remember that grace is not merely a concept to be understood, but a force to be experienced. It is a profound presence that can uplift us, guide us, and bring us profound transformation into our daily life. Life is often a dance between what we can control and what we cannot. Some days, everything seems to flow effortlessly, like the universe is working in our favor. Other times, no matter how hard we try, things seem to slip through our fingers. It is in these moments of uncertainty that we start searching for answer, for help, and for something greater than ourselves. There is something beyond our effort, beyond our logic, that moves life in mysterious ways. Some call it luck, others call it fate, but there is another name for it: grace. When grace is present, life unfolds in ways we never imagined. Challenges that once seemed impossible start to dissolve, and doors we never noticed before suddenly opens. but how we invite grace into our daily life. How do we experience that silent guiding force that turns struggle into ease? This is not about belief, it is about being receptive. It's about being turning into something deeper than our thoughts and emotions. Just like a radio, pick up signals when turned to the right frequency. Our life also can align with grace when we truly become open. So take a moment and ask yourself, am I allowing grace to touch my life? Am I rushing through each day lost in thoughts and worries? Or am I making space to simply be? Sometimes all it takes is just slowing down, become still, and paying attention. In that stillness, you might feel something incredible, a presence, a deep sense of connection, a quiet knowing that you are not alone. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You don't have to fight through life alone. There is always something greater at play, something watching, something responding. But for it to work, you must be willing to receive. Like a cup that is already full, grace cannot enter a mind that is overflowing with noise, fear, and resistance. Empty the cup, be open, and be aware. And above all, trust. Trust that life is not against you. Trust that even in the most difficult moments, something is holding you, guiding you, and waiting for you to notice. So as you go on with your day, remember this: there is more to life than what meets the eye. And sometimes the greatest things happen not because we force them, but because we simply allow them. So stay open, stay aware, and let grace do its work. May the wisdom shared in this video serve as a beacon of light on your journey, inspiring you to delve deeper into the mysteries of grace and embrace its transformative power. And remember, this is not a summary of Sadhguru's word. It is simply my own interpretation of the deep wisdom he imparted. Kindly keep them separated and do not misunderstand. Thank you for joining, and we will see you tomorrow. Until then, please take care. Namaskar.
चंद्रचूड़ शिव शंकर पार्वती रमणानंद